Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith of Smiths in the Black, and if it's Tuesday, it's the Strat Attack Show, and we hop into the urban assault vehicle and see what's going on. So, if we take a look here at SPY, starting off here, the new month, and still two up, as you can see that in green. So, like today, we had some warning signals, and I'll get to that in a second. But for the most part, still intact, and just back to a doji on the week. However, gets a little interesting here as the next two on the daily is closer to taking this out, and if it does, then it becomes a compound three, a two-bar pattern outside of this, and if so, then you're back into the old broadening formation. So we'll be paying attention to that tomorrow for sure. If you go to QQQ, Q's also back off here on the daily, potential shooter back through all this kind of stuff, and so you can see this line here, this lower here. So the question here, are we going to start coming back through these and get a little more volatility, which would be nice. So we'll see, because like SMH, just kind of hanging there, not doing too much. But the XLK, your strength, and XLK is it was like this morning we saw a lot of internals breaking down, but the market hit new highs. And XLK is like the big boys are doing the heavy lifting, and so one of the things we do know is XLK is heavily weighted with Apple and Microsoft. And Apple, if we take a look, see here, Apple, what did we know to be true to start off the quarter? Apple's inside and up and on the quarter here, over 137.41. So that's still intact for 3 months, albeit it goes to new highs. That's exhaustion risk. So we'll see. In Microsoft, also doing fine here, and that's, like I said, the big boys are doing the heavy lifting in the morning. And it's also in the XLK, you've got MA, and MA, MasterCard, it's also inside month and upper here, and it's got some more room for all-time highs, and we saw strength with Visa as well today, and Visa actually went out near the highs, so be aware of that. We've got Starbucks here also, inside month and up. You got DG in the retail, slightly inside month and up over there. You've got Nike, more retail strength in the Dow. If we take a look at the Dow Jones, and Dow Jones still just flirting up into here, and you can see the Dow. This is, look at this, tight range. I don't think it was quite an inside day, was it? Yep, inside day for the Dow. So we'll see how that goes. We'll get to that in a second. Some of the wild cards here is like financials. We got a lot of earnings coming out. Financials inside day, and had a nice day yesterday, but you can see this chop in here. How do we get out of all this, right? You can see this is a sideways inside month. This will be 4 weeks inside of this bar here. XLE, I'll see a lot of inside days and financials today. And XLE, how do we get outside of this thing? And the daily inside day, because you've got crude running, right? So that should be supporting these guys, but there's non-believers out there so far. XEC goes inside day, and that's one of the few the proud, the inside month and upper over in that kind of thing. So a lot of earnings coming out that's going to have a lot of say-so on which way we go in here. If we go to Disney in the Dow, and Disney outside bar after an inside bar, we call that a 1-bar Rev Strat 1-3. And so if the market firms up, here you got Rev Strat weak to the upside. Real tight range are those, the problem. So you can see like you're just slightly taking out these lows and then just slightly taking out these highs. So we'll see if anything more comes of it. Just kind of dojis out on the day. So we'll see about that. We do have some strength in XLV. And XLV a little bit, on the week, just starting off. It's still a 2 up, right? So we got a lot of microscopic stuff here, but we saw UNH here, and UNH on the month is this, the 2, the 2, the 2, right? And that tells us we can look at Humana. The hammer counter shooter still sitting up there and held up pretty well for the market coming in, still tight rangers like a lot of things up there. Johnny John in there, and Johnny John had that news for the outside day and now the inside day, so we'll see if they forgive it. And then also in the XLK, because you want to know what's in everything, very slightly you've got TMO, Thermo, and Thermo is an inside quarter to the upside. Very slightly, but it is, and so we're going to pay attention to all the signals as they kick in. If we go to some downside, what we're noticing here is a couple of themes here too. And if we go to the transports, what we're noticing is the pandemic names, now that we're opening up, are starting to sell off. And so we know here in the transports, IYT, below here is what we're looking at, 254.65, right? If we can get back down below that, then you're a shooter 2 quarter downside. That's something we definitely want to know about. And so what we're seeing on a monthly basis, you're seeing the airlines, Southwest, taking out last month's lows. You're seeing Delta, also American, pretty much all across the board here, United, all of them taking out 3 or 4 month lows, if not inside quarters to the downside, right? Let me see that, you all. And yeah, you all's inside quarter to the downside, taking these guys out. This was the last quarter low, was 48.90. So you're below that quarterly down. So all those guys having problems, cruise ships, CCL, trying to take all this. It wasn't inside because that poked up, but you're taking out 3 months of lows. Here, that's a 2 down. That tells you RCL and LCH and HL. You get the idea. And CLH. Oh boy, long day. There you go, taking out cruise ships, coming back through all these ranges. You're also seeing Boeing here. Boeing going the Randy Jackson, the failed rev strat. Inside, pokes down, comes up, and then boom, right back down through all that kind of stuff. You're also seeing the casinos, Wynn Resorts, taking out 3 months of lows, 4 months of lows. LVS has been decaying for a while here. You've got TripAdvisor here, still decaying here off inside month. You've got Live Nation, we're going to concerts, taking out last month's lows. You got some room, and now this is a 3.22, so the measure is down to here. If it doesn't get a reversal, and that's all the way down towards 74.01, which would be a nice move. Also, with those energies, the refiners having problems here too, and you see taking out 2 months of lows is Valero, PSX, taking out last month's lows and coming back through here. So you can see some of that internal weakness in there. We're also seeing this in the home builders. XHB here, took out last month's lows last month. ITB here, took out last month's low last month. And so you're seeing a bunch of that kind of stuff. KBH here, Toll Brothers, all taking out last month's lows. Pulte and then Lennar here. Potential 3, and on the month, that would look like something like this on your daily. Like so. If you can come racing back through that try, would be real nice for us. Also, DHI, taking out last month's lows, if I didn't already say that. So the home builders, then you got the memes. GameStop, we knew about this too. Below the 197er. Boom, already down to 180. That thing's still having some problems. That's a reversal on the month for the GameStop. You've got VMW, just taking out a couple months lows here, having some problems to start off the week. And so you always want to see how they start off the week, and it just went wham, all right? So when the market backed off, there was no reason to believe this was going to go up. That's 2 days of selling after we had a nice up day yesterday. If you go to W, also coming after the month here, 2 up, 2 down month in W, below 293.17. All right, so you can see a lot of this internal stuff trying to break down. The big boys trying to hold everything up, and it's always important to see. I want to rehash something we talked about last week. Is what we're going after and when and who. Right, we want to go after people in losing positions. Right, so we want to know who that would be. And so last Thursday, you might remember, we gapped down. Right. And rallied back. So when we closed out, we were closer to being a 2 up, right? We're closer to taking this out, right? So on that Friday, anything doing the 2-2 reversal back up is what we wanted. And it was almost everything. It's called a simultaneous break, right? It's very difficult to turn around. That tells you they're buying everything across the board. Go, 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 right? Then come in on yesterday, and we get a slight higher high, right? And so any weakness during the day, we were going after anybody taking out the previous day's low, Friday's low. Why? Because anybody who was long, they got what they wanted. The market rallied back, but their stock didn't. And so when it comes and takes this out, Friday's low, anybody who bought whatever it is on Friday gets stopped out, right? They all go underwater right there. So knowing that the sequence of things of what we're going after and why is very important, especially because we want to be trading people in losing positions. And simultaneous breaks, sector-wise or whatever, if what that means is there's a high concentration of breaks in either the sector or broader averages in the same direction. And that tells us, especially sector-wise, that institutions are buying the sector across the board. They don't care. They're not just doing ETFs. They are buying anything that has a drop of oil or whatever it may be. And that's very difficult to turn around. They don't do it very often. So that's why we look for longer-term ones of those if we can get it. But we're constantly watching each day and each hour for that. All right, that's going to do it for this week. I'm Rob Smith. I'm Smith in the Black with the Strat Attack. Shoot.